Welcome to the Twin Cities at TCF Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Purdue and Minnesota moments away from the 72nd renewal here on BTN, Minnesota and Purdue. Alongside Glenn Mason, I'm Corey Provis. We're just about set for kickoff on a beautiful early November Saturday. You can see the weather, sunny skies, temperatures near 70 degrees. A great setting for Purdue and Minnesota. Purdue won the toss, and they deferred, so the Golden Gophers will have it as we begin play here today. There's Rodney Smith back deep to receive for the Gophers. J.D. Dellinger will kick it away for Purdue. Purdue has not won here in the Twin Cities since 2011. Golden Gophers at 6-2 overall. Purdue 3-5, and we are underway here at TCF Bank Stadium. Deontay Harden on the return. A flag thrown back to the 20-yard line as Harden is tackled shy of the 45. A return of 28 for now. Now we'll wait and see on the flag. Our game referee today is Don Willard. And this will indeed come back.
Fortunate for Purdue, they won the toss, they deferred, and it was an awful short kickoff.
Holding, receiving team, number 22. That penalty's declined. Holding, receiving team number 9. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So Eric Carter and Colby Mccrary both flagged on the holds.
Yeah, you can see he's got the white jersey, and he's defender's trying to pull off, and he can't get away. And as I mentioned, Corey, fortunate for Purdue because they had poor coverage on a poor kick, and without those holding penalties, would have given the Gophers good field position.
See some numbers there on redshirt senior quarterback Mitch Leidner. It's been a dominant run offense during this 3-game winning streak for the Gophers as Leidner comes under center, and he will throw on first down, and he's looking deep for Still. He's got it inside the Purdue 40-yard line. Now so much for running and running only. Leidner lets it go on the first play from scrimmage, 46 yards.
Well, this doesn't surprise me. When we talked to Jay Johnson, the offensive coordinator, lack of passing against Illinois, only 112 yards passing. He said a lot of that had to do with the weather and the game playing to the defense. He said we have to push the ball downfield more. True to his words.
46-yard pass from Leidner, his longest throw this season. From the 35, Rodney Smith, his first carry, will try the outside, and he will be dropped for about a loss of 1 by DeJuan Hunt. Well, Mike Pereira with us today from Los Angeles. Anything that comes up and we need his expert analysis, great to have Mike with us today here on BTN.
Mike, best dressed man in football right there. Someone must dress him there. No official has that good a taste.
On second down, and Leidner's going to keep it. And he's going to be tripped up for a minimal gain. Let's take a look at our Auto Owners Insurance Impact players. Glenn, take us through.
Well, this is not going to be any surprise, but for Purdue, it's D'Angelo Yancey. They like to throw the ball at Purdue, and they like to throw it downfield. I don't think there's a bigger threat than Yancey as far as the deep ball. And for Drew Wolatarski, I look for the Gophers. They know they have to get better at throwing the football. Tough schedule defensively coming down the road. He's the target for them.
4-receiver package for Leidner on third down to the right side, and nearly intercepted by DeJuan Hunt. As Hunt was set up, and Rashad Still running down the sideline, but Hunt nearly picked off Leidner.
Yeah, I think it's a miscommunication between Leidner and the receiver. He went deep. Leidner threw the out under some pressure by the twist up by Purdue.
Emmitt Carpenter, he's going to line up for now for a field goal try. This would be a 52-yard try for Carpenter. His career long 46. Carpenter 5 of 5 this season from 40 yards or beyond. This again from 52. And he got it! The Luke Rosa semifinalist, one of 3 Big Ten kickers on that list. And how about Carpenter? He's only missed 2 all year from 52. Interim head coach Jared Parker looks on, but the Gophers take the early lead thanks to the big leg from the redshirt sophomore Emmitt Carpenter.
Yeah, but if I'm Parker, I still look at that as a win. You open up first play from scrimmage for the Gophers. They hit a bomb. Defense stiffens. You force the field goal, and he hits a 52-yarder. You feel good about it if you're Purdue. You feel good about it if you're Tracy Claeys. Carpenter hits a 52-yarder, a career long for him.
And Carpenter will stay on and boot this one away. We'll see Purdue on offense for the first time. Wagner and Ryan Langford Johnson back to receive for Purdue. As Carpenter sends this one into the end zone, and Langford Johnson, St. Paul native, drops it, and Purdue will have it from its own 25-yard line. Let's check in downstairs as we say good afternoon to Allison Hayes.
Thanks, Corey. Minnesota wants to put an emphasis on the passing game. There was thoughts that it could be a hindered effort because second leading receiver Brian Smith had been dismissed for a violation of team policy. Coach Tracy Claeys told me that he wanted to see Rashad Still step up for them, and we saw they went to him right away early in this game. Now, meanwhile, for Purdue, the defense getting a boost. They have Jake Replogle back. He's been out for 3 games with headaches, and ultimately they said the decision was up to him on whether or not he would play. And you saw he is back in the game, and they say he's a game changer for him. Corey?
All right, Allison, thank you for that. As Markel Jones, the first carry today for the sophomore from Columbus. David Blau leading the way for Purdue again today. Blau leads the Big Ten in passing yards per game and total offense. We saw a run, Glenn, on first down, but this has been an offense that has been throwing and then some here in recent years.
Yeah, they've kind of given up on the run, and I don't think they really can do that.
Purdue picks up the blitz. Blau looking deep and overthrows Bilal Marshall.
But I'm saying, if you totally give up on the run, and that's production-wise, that's what happened the last couple of weeks for Purdue. You become one-dimensional, and any defensive coordinator likes that. He can build his defense, his blitzes, his line stunts. His defensive line can think about rushing the passer and not worried about the run game.
3rd and long. Purdue on 3rd down this season, 47%. That's 4th best in the Big Ten, but this is a long one. Here's Blau. He lets it fire, and a sliding catch right near the sticks by Gregory Phillips. And they're going to say the ball is caught, but he's going to be just shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and less than a yard.
And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even though they're short here. It's a catch and short. I wouldn't be surprised, and they are going for it.
And it's going to be a run. It's Blau. Needed to get just a few inches, and it'll be close. Minnesota thinks they denied Blau. And they did. Not even a spot. Not even a measurement.
Corey, defense rises to the occasion, and you make a stop on 4th down in this end of the field, that's as good as a turnover.
Jack Lynn, co-captain among the Gophers, in on that stop. There is Jared Parker, interim head coach, promoted to the head coach back on October 16th. So a short field for Minnesota, already leading 3-0. Rodney Smith, the tailback, behind Leidner. And Smith slips away once, but then dropped near the line of scrimmage. Jalen Robinson. Now you see Rodney Smith right there, and Glenn, we got some news about an hour ago, and Rodney Smith, really one half of the potent running game for Minnesota. He'll be the main man today as Shannon Brooks, he is out with an undisclosed injury.
Yeah, both these young guys from the state of Georgia, effective runners, 1-2 punch. In fact, the coaches even referenced that you might see them both in the game at the same time. Well, you're not going to see them both today.
And Brooks ran for 176 against Purdue last year as Minnesota won big. Leidner throwing on second down, has time underneath and knocked away. Looking for Wolotarski. Juwan Hunt's been busy, got his hands in them, denying Wolotarski the catch.
Yeah, that was awful good by Hunt. The receiver did a good job on the curl route. He came back to the ball, but Hunt broke and he got his arm in front. Watch this. Crowd thinks there's pass interference by their reaction.
It's a thin secondary today for Purdue. Quarterback Tim Casey did not make the trip. So 3rd down and 11. Let's see Navon Mosley move from safety to corner, and Miles Norwood might play some safety as the Boilermakers have to ad-lib a bit today. Rodney Smith, the big run, has the first down and more. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Minnesota. Touchdown run for Smith.
Yeah, you go with the draw play on 3rd down, and as good as a pass, and better than a pass, because they're a better run team than they are a throw team. And I think this is very characteristic of Purdue. They play well, give up a big play.
His 11th rushing touchdown of the season. Redshirt sophomore from Jonesboro, Georgia. Carpenter for the extra point, and the Golden Gophers lead by 10. Wagner and Langford Johnson back deep, and Carpenter boots this one through the end zone, so Purdue will have it from the 25-yard line. As we look at the updated Big Ten standings, some early games already complete, and still some games to come, not just today, but also tonight. Indiana won 33-24 at Rutgers. You saw that earlier here on BTN. Illinois beat Michigan State 31-27 in Champaign, and Wisconsin won in Evanston 21-7.
Boy, can anybody figure out what's happened to Michigan State? Mind-boggling.
And we will see Michigan State next week. Rutgers and Michigan State. We will be there for a noon Eastern time kick here on BTN. Let's see what Blau and the Boilermakers can do on their second possession. He will throw. He finds Phillips. As he is near the first down. Here from Lithonia, Georgia.
Yeah, I would look for Blau to throw at least 50 passes today. That's what he did against Penn State. 68% completion rate.
Cody Polk on the tackle there as Markel Jones picks up the first down. Let's check in now with Pizzo for studio update in Chicago. Wow. Rick, thank you for that. Loss of 1 for the Boilermakers, so 2nd down and 11. Tight end for Purdue is Cole Herdman, lined up near the bottom of your screen. Purdue likes to use its tight ends in the passing game. It's a run for Jones. Gain of 6. Bring up about 3rd down and call it 5.
Well, that's what Purdue has to do. They cannot give up on the run. They've got to mix it in there. They cannot allow the Gophers just to sit back in coverage the whole time.
On third down for Blau. Purdue picks up the rush. Blau looking deep down the sideline, and Yancey cannot hang on. Oh, they're going to say it is a catch. The ball did come free. Jalen Myrick on the coverage. It's a pickup of 38 yards as you see Myrick run step for step with Yancey.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you look at that. That was great coverage, but a great pass by Blau, and that's what I was talking about as far as an impact player.
Plays under further review.
And this play will be reviewed. Hand to hand there, Yancey and Myrick. Oh, and a perfect throw there from Blau, and you see Myrick trying to bring the hands down to strip it free. As Yancey was knocked out around the 20-yard line, and the call on the field is a catch, and for now a pickup of 38 yards.
Yeah, the question will be, did he have complete control of the ball? Can't tell from there. Let's see this angle.
Foot down,
did he have it long enough?
Foot down, made an act common to the game.
And the important factor, ruled the catch on the field.
And again, words to remember, all plays indisputable. Video evidence to overturn any call as Don Willard takes a look. So going back to what we touched on, Glenn, at the top, you expected that. You expected the big pass play. Blau and Yancey. Dominique Young out for the season. Yancey has really been forced to stay. He's a good player, but he's been forced to really elevate his game even more with Young's absence.
Well, I mentioned impact players, and they're going to throw the ball a lot, and they're going to throw it deep, and the number of big plays that young man's had is really amazing.
Here's the call. We're going to bring in Mike Pereira momentarily.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
So it is a catch for Yancey. Let's check in with Mike Pereira in L.A. Mike, do you agree?
Yeah, I like that ruling because if you look at it, you try to put it in a process. Control, 1 foot, and then an element of time, and you referred to it right off the bat. There was that element of time before it got ripped out. So to me, staying with the ruling on the field was the right thing to do.
So big play for Purdue. Thanks, Mike. Ryan Langford Johnson, the tailback, as Blau has time over the middle. It's up and it's caught. Touchdown, Purdue. Cole Herdman. His third touchdown catch this season, a 20-yard play, and the Boilermakers answered. There's Blau's 17th touchdown pass of the season, and we mentioned, Glenn, that the Boilermakers love to go to their tight ends, and there's Herdman.
Yeah, they talked about tight ends being very talented players as receivers as well as blockers, even though they don't run the football. But David Blau, the key there, that offensive line, gave him time. If you give him time, he'll find an open receiver.
J.D. Dellinger on for the extra point. And he drives it through. You see David Blau on the right, Cole Herdman on the left. As the Boilermakers answer back, and now down by 3. 10-7 Minnesota. Not even yet midway through this first quarter.
Yeah, I keep talking about Purdue, and you know, you look at the record, you look at the statistics, and you get an impression of them. Then you turn on the film and you say, they've got more talent. They just self-destruct. You know, defensively they play pretty well. They give up big plays, and offensively they turn the ball over. But with David Blau, a quarterback, and those receivers, if you protect, they can give you fits.
As Dellinger sends it away, Deontay Harden watches this one bounce out of bounds. And that'll give Minnesota the ball at the 35-yard line. There's a miscue for Purdue. Exactly your point right there.
Well, I mean, there's 2 kickoffs for Purdue. Unimpressed with that kickoff.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Well, you know, Minnesota's got tremendous running back in Smith, but Leidner is a good runner also.
Here is Rodney Smith, and he slips away once and then shoved out by Juwan Bentley. 2-time co-captain, no gain. Time called. Garrison Wright, as the injured Golden Gopher, so Connor Mays takes over at guard with Persig at tackle. On second down, this is Smith, and he is dropped Once again, it's Jawan Bentley. A gain of only 1. Bentley missed the last 7 games of last season with a torn ACL. And C.J. Parker also in on the stop there, but there is Bentley, one of the leaders with this Purdue team overall. Two-time captain.
Well, you mentioned C.J. Parker, the free safety. He's coming down. And they're inverting their safeties. That's an 8-9 man box. People call it loading the box, and that's why Minnesota's going to have to be able to effectively throw the ball.
So it's 3rd down and long as Eric Carter goes in motion. And Purdue bringing pressure. Leidner throws low, incomplete. Tyler Johnson, not a good throw there from Leidner. And it'll be 3 and out for Minnesota.
Mitch Leidner's got a lot of talent, but he's inconsistent as a passer. And that's why he comes under criticism by a lot of the Gopher fans. I mean, they came with a maximum blitz, did a pretty good job at holding them out, but they couldn't pick everybody up. Had a wide open receiver, and he threw it in the dirt.
There's Ryan Santoso, former place kicker, now punting this year for Minnesota. Blau Marshall back deep to return for Purdue. Santoso with a good punt. And this will be fielded by Marshall. Fair catch called for inside the 20-yard line. It's a punt of 46 yards. Markel Jones not in the game right now. It's Brian Langford Johnson, the tailback, to Blau's left. From inside the 20-yard line, Blau throwing. It's caught by Cameron Posey. In with about 5 yards, Demarius Travis, Richard senior safety, in on the stop.
Minnesota came with the blitz. You know, you have to, it's not anything big, but 5 yards, that's good as a run as long as you're consistent.
And Blau lets it go quickly, and Posey to catch it. He is dropped by Myrick, the senior from Bloomingdale, Georgia. Read that one from the get-go and dropping the receiver for a loss.
Yeah, you got to put this on D'Angelo Yancey, number 7. When you throw that route right there, you have to have the confidence that the wide receiver is going to block the corner. If he doesn't, if he misses, totally misses, whips like he did right there, that's what happens.
It's a loss of 3. On 3rd down, Blau with time, throws short and in and out of the hands of Bryson Hopkins. The redshirt freshman tight end, Keontae Harden, on the coverage. And now Purdue will punt.
Well, let's go back to that 2nd down play where Yancey missed the block, but that corner came hard. I tell you what you like to do right there. You like to fake that bubble route and go deep with the wide receiver. Watch them come back to that.
There is Keontae Harden in on the coverage, and he is back deep to receive this Joe Shopper punt. So after some early scoring on both sides, 3 outs, both Minnesota and Purdue, and this will be stopped with a flag.
False start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
There's Jared Parker, 35 years old, interim head coach for Purdue.
He'll be aging right before your eyes.
Is that experience talking?
Yeah, absolutely. Watch Minnesota be very cautious in punt situations, kick situations. They are aware that Purdue likes to run fake stuff, especially with an interim coach.
Not a good kick, a low liner, but a solid bounce for Purdue. We'll see this one roll back inside the 40-yard line. So a fortunate bounce for the Boilermakers ends up being a 49-yard punt. Timeout in Minneapolis. Now you see a conversation there between Jared Parker and sophomore punter Joe Shopper, and Glenn, it goes back to the punt a moment ago. Got a good bounce, but take a look at this punt here from Shopper.
Well, you talked about a conversation. Heck, he hit the ground before he hit the ball. You know what that's? It's like chunking a wedge shot in golf, and you got to be better than that. And I'm sure what he's doing. My conversation with Coach Parker today, I was impressed. He's not chewing him out. He's encouraged. You're better than that. You know, we need you. We're right in this game.
The tailback behind Leidner is junior Colby Mccrary. He'll see some more reps today with Shannon Brooks out with an injury. And that run goes nowhere. No gain for Mccrary. His first carry here so far this afternoon. And getting back to Jared Parker, great visit with him earlier in the week. And something he told us stuck with me all week long. He said, leading can be lonely.
He's got that right. But you know what I liked about it? He says, you know, as assistant coach, now I'm the head coach. He says, everybody wants to ask me stuff. What do we want to eat? What time do we want to leave? He said, I used to just go along with everybody else's decisions. Now I got to make the decisions.
Wozniak in motion. As Leidner throws on second down, and he will take off and run. He'll slide for a first down. Across the 45, a gain of 11 for Leidner.
Yeah, here's a classic example. They're going with a play-action pass, and guys get out of their rush lanes, and they don't contain the quarterback, and you don't want to do that with a guy like Leidner. He's a very, very effective runner.
Especially in the red zone. If you look at Leidner's career and his rushing touchdowns, many of those really not long gains, but inside the red zone. And here is Mccrary. He dropped the helmet and stopped at the line of scrimmage. Jake McClogle, Eddie Wilson. And the stop there for Purdue. The absence of Brooks, how does that change the game plan, what Minnesota hopes to do on the ground, especially today, Glenn?
Well, I really don't think it changes very much as long as Rodney Smith stays healthy. Now, if he would get dinged up, they've got a big problem. But the idea where they were trying to evolve to getting your best players on the field and having Smith and Brooks on the field at the same time, well, that's not going to happen.
Let's see Carlton Jam get a few more reps today. Here is Mccrary again. He'll pick up 2. Eddie Wilson, the sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan, on the stop.
You talked about Garrison Wright, the right guard that got injured before, and he was from Butler Community College. And Mccrary, he's from Butler Community College, and that's not surprising. Those Kansas junior colleges play good football when you think about Jerry Kill's connections to Kansas and Tracy Clay's from Kansas. It only makes sense that they would recruit down there.
And Wright remains out. Still Connor Mays in at right guard. On third down and 8. Leidner with time over the middle, throws short of the first down. As Wolotarski makes the catch, be about 2 yards shy of the first down. And after a pickup of 7, call it a long 4th and 1. And Minnesota will punt as Leidner will come off the field as the Boilermakers make another stop. There is Shannon Brooks. He found out about an hour and a half before kickoff that he would not play. No, the injury specifically undisclosed at this point. And he ran all over Purdue last year in a big loss for a very powerful runner. Unavailable today for Minnesota. So Santoso again boots this one away to Marshall. This will go over his head. And a nice punt. It'll be down inside the 15-yard line. So Purdue will start inside its own 15 at around the 12. Bill Jones did not see time on the last Purdue possession. Back in there as Blau will throw. Blau still looking downfield and now will just dive for the sideline.
You know, sometimes you see Blau, he kept his eyes downfield, but sometimes things break down. You get outside the pocket, they've lost contain. Man, you just got to put the ball away and run. Because you know those defenders are closing on you, so get a couple more yards. Rather than 2 yards, get 4 or 5 yards and you're in better shape.
4th possession for Purdue. All 4 of its drives have started inside the 20-yard line as the snap, but really the exchange is fumbled. And Markel Jones dives back on top of it. This will almost bring Purdue back to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, I'll really call it 3rd and 11.
Well, you see it right here. I mean, that's just basic football. We talked about the last 3 games. They've had 7 turnovers. A week ago against Penn State, they're right in the game. They have 2 center quarterback exchange problems. You can't do that and win football games.
We'll see if Minnesota will bring pressure on 3rd down and long. They rush 4. Blau over the middle and caught. Perfect throw. Down the sideline, really over the middle of the field is Cameron Posey, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown Purdue, 89 yards. On 3rd and long, Blau finds Posey for a big, big play.
All I can say is, wow. I mean, we know these guys can throw the ball, and you can see Blau gets hit just as he lets it go, but man, he puts the ball right on the money, and as we mentioned, Purdue's got talent at wide receiver, and that Gopher defense can run. They weren't closing the gap on Posey.
Second touchdown reception this season, career-long pass for David Blau, 89 yards. Blau with 2 touchdown throws today, and now it's Dellinger for the extra try. And he sneaks it through the right upright. 10 to play, late first quarter. Purdue now leading by 4, 14-10 as we go back to the last touchdown.
Just watch it. You wonder how this goes the whole way? Just watch Travis right here. What happens to him on the move? He thinks he's going to go in the seam. He gets turned around, totally beat. He gets no help from the corner, misses the tackle, and he's off to the races. Now, Demarius Travis is an awful good defensive back. I'm surprised that happened to him.
Co-captain Travis. That play, 89 yards, the longest play from scrimmage for Purdue since October 2nd, 2004 at Notre Dame. Deontay Harden on the return. And he will be stopped shy of the 25-yard line. There's Leidner on first down. He'll step up, tuck it, and drops his helmet across the 25-yard line. After a gain of 3. Brought down by Leroy Clark, strong safety, senior from Miami.
Well, when you see that happen, it's happened a couple times. Now, Leidner's dropped back to pass. Pretty fair protection, but he had to put the ball and run because there's no one open. You got to credit the under coverage and the secondary of Purdue.
So the ground game, Minnesota 52 yards, but how about the passing numbers? Purdue, a couple of big plays, including 89 yards a moment ago. Blau to Posey. Here's Smith searching, and he is wrapped up by Replogle. The junior from Centerville, Ohio, missed the last 3 games with a head injury. Back at it today, practiced this week, and a big welcome back to number 54.
You know, every time that we've had a Purdue game, the opponents have always singled out number 54, Jake Replogle, a guy that just plays hard, technique sound, a battler. Missed the last 3 games. He's back now, and man, that defense really needs him.
Also very smart in the classroom, 2-time academic, all Big Ten selection, Jake Replogle. So it's 3rd down and long. Pressure coming, Leidner flush, and he's going to be sacked back inside the 15-yard line. Lynn Robinson with his 3rd sack this season.
Well, he's under duress right here. He's got no chance. He's just got to protect the football. And after this play was over, number 7 there, 3-time captain for the Gophers, was not happy. He jumped right off the ground and started chewing out those offensive linemen.
And that has not happened often this season. Just the 8th sack allowed by the Gophers here this season. Santoso got it off. And it's Marshall. He will try and return it. And he is tripped up across the 40-yard line. And that will be the last play of the opening quarter. Just about to start the second quarter from Minneapolis, Purdue on the road, leading by 4, 14-10 after 1. The Boilermakers have dropped their last 3. But Glenn, I go back the last 2 weeks in particular. 2 weeks ago, Purdue on the road is leading at Nebraska at halftime. Last week, tied with Penn State at home. The first half hasn't been a problem despite the losses here of late for Purdue.
The answer, don't go in at halftime. Stay on the field. Those halftime adjustments aren't working for you boys.
Blau 7 of 9 so far. That one bobbled and dropped. That is Blau Marshall not hanging on. Blau now with 3 incompletions so far. Deontay Harden out of the coverage. This one thrown slightly behind.
Yeah, look, you know, when you throw that slant, that receiver wants to catch it right in the breadbasket, right in front of him, because he knows he's going to hit inside out.
You see Blau Marshall. This is not really a wildcat. The Boilermakers call this their Amtrak package. And Marshall, a former quarterback in high school, and he shows off the arm, and he throws near the first down marker, and it's going to be incomplete. Juggle on the sideline.
Good pass.
Anthony Mahungu.
Probably the only player in college football from Paris. I got back in coaching, I'm going to recruit Paris. That's what I'm going to do.
3rd down and long. And Phil Jones, the tailback. Blau with time, throws low, juggled, and then caught by Marshall as he dives near midfield. He'll be brought down shy of the 1st down. Antoine Winfield Jr. Just the tackle.
Yeah, I tell you, he was backing away when he threw that ball.
So now Shopper. There's Keontae Harden. Deep to receive for Minnesota. And a much better punt here from Shopper. This one will bounce inside the 10, near the 5. So the pep talk he had with Jared Parker worked.
That was a big win for the Badgers. You know, they were catching Northwestern when they were red hot, and no one's had a tougher schedule than the Badgers. That's a good win for Paul Christ and the Badgers.
Well, the Texas A&M's lost. That's going to help the Badgers move up in the rankings. Here is Smith looking for something, and he picks up a 1st down, shoved out. Let's see where they mark it, right at the marker. It's a gain of 10, shoved out by Jeanlyn Robinson, and it will be a 1st down for Rodney Smith.
Rodney Smith is an awful, exciting football player. Coming in today, he was leading the Big Ten in all-purpose yards, 140 yards a game, and just a young guy from Georgia. I'm amazed how many players around the Big Ten are from the state of Georgia.
Smith really under-recruited in high school, dealt with an injury during his junior year, and now another big run. Smith stays in bounds this time and then brought down across the 40-yard line. Danny Izichukwu finally wrapped up Smith, but back-to-back nice runs. That one went for 27.
Yeah, and this is just a zone play, and he cuts it back, and you see Purdue, they're not getting off blocks. You know, the defense is pretty simple. You got to move on movement and deliver a blow and disengage and get to the ball, and they're not getting off blocks.
Well, Purdue has struggled all year stopping the run. Leidner nothing yet in the passing game. And Leidner keeps it. Big hole off the left side for Leidner. He runs out inside the 40. So 3 straight runs, and Glenn all 3 to the left side of the field.
Yeah, you know, the zone read has been a problem for these guys all year long, and this might not be a zone read, but it's the same type of thing. You fake in the line, and now here comes Leidner. He's a big, strong guy, 6'4", 230, that knows what to do, running the ball with the ball under his arm.
That's a good block there from Nate Wozniak, 6'10", 275, sealing off Danny Izichukwu, popping Leidner for a long run. Now Smith behind Leidner. And they stick with the run, and this time it's read by Purdue. A gain of 1 as Smith tried the middle. Marcus Bailey, the linebacker, redshirt freshman from Columbus, made the tackle. Leads the team in tackles. Bailey, 21 for Purdue.
Yeah, if you watch Colt Beebe right there, he's a tight end. When they line him like that, he acts like a fullback because they really don't have a fullback in their offense to get to 21 personnel. 2 backs, 1 tight end.
And Leidner to Smith in the backfield, and that goes nowhere. Jawan Bentley among those that read it, forced a 7-yard loss.
3rd down, 16 yards to go.
Well, Purdue's going to bring a blitz, more guys that they can block, and they're playing man coverage on the outside. And, you know, sometimes you design a blitz defensively because you think it's a pass. Other times you think it's a run. Yeah, you know, you hear this all the time, but what the personnel, 10 personnel, 11 personnel, the first number says how many backs in the backfield. The second number, how many tight ends.
Leidner underneath. This is Smith. And he brought down well shy of the 1st down at around the 35-yard line, 4th and long. Jake Replogle on the tackle.
So far, if I say 10 personnel, that's 1 back, 0 tight ends, you know? If I say 21 personnel, that's 2 backs, 1 tight end. It's a simple way for everybody to communicate. It's universally used in college football, pro football, and both by offensive and defensive coaches. And that's why you see defensive guys all the time holding up a sign, 10, 21, 11, to let everybody know what kind of personnel are coming.
Carpenter on for the try. He made from 52 earlier, this one from 53. And Emmitt Carpenter does it again. Had a career-long 52-yard field goal in the first, and now 1 yard better in the second. 52 and 53-yard field goals for the Loons.
Now, and let me tell you about Emmitt Carpenter. I had an opportunity to talk to him last summer. He's going to help out a friend of mine, Peter Webster, who's going to be a place kicker at Baylor. And what a nice young man he is, and says, sure, I'd help out, went out of his way to help another guy. And you like to see really nice quality kids have that type of performance, and I hope we get to see him kick a 54-yarder.
So 52 and 53. How about this note? Only one other FBS kicker has multiple 50-yard kicks in one game this season. Zane Gonzalez from Arizona State had 3 kicks of 50 or more, and then he had 2 in another game. So Carpenter joining exclusive company. And still a long way to go in this game. Great start for David Blau so far in the passing game. On first down, he finds Blau Marshall. He slips free to the 30. Travis on the tackle for Minnesota, gain of 5.
Now here's the same type of play, but this is a case where Yancey now gets the block that he totally missed before, and that's why the play worked.
And he blocked Myrick. Never blew that up in the first quarter. Langford Johnson picks up the blitz. And now behind, Blau nearly had the ball stripped, and he'll be dropped. Back at the 26-yard line by Hendrik Ekpe. Jonathan Celestine also, he provided the initial rush that was picked up by Brian Langford Johnson and forced Blau to move to his right.
You're right, that was a tough duty for Langford Johnson to do, but that's what you tell defenders to do. You know, you can't just expect to come free. You got to keep playing to the whistle, and that's what the Gophers did.
Loss of 3. Minnesota breaks 5, and down goes Blau.
Yeah, Blau's lucky he hung under the football there because they brought a man right up the middle. They did not account for him. And
it's Blake Cashman. Open lane to Blau as that play was snapped. Right up the middle. So Shopper takes it away from his own 5. The Gophers will have good field position as the ball will roll inside the 40-yard line.
Should be a good one.
Field position for Minnesota. Leidner. Throw to the sideline. It's Rashad still, and he stays in bounds. And now let's see. Now they're going to say he did not. Stepped out at around the 46.
A little quick throw. That's okay, but Hunt, you got to make that tackle. You know how they call football? It's play with your feet. I mean, you saw him. He got his feet all twisted around. You can't make a tackle that way.
Official had a good look at that, made the right call. Gain at 9, 2nd and 1. Still has to be more of a focus today. Brian Smith dismissed from the team, the Gophers' second leading receiver earlier in the week. And this is Leidner running for the first down across midfield into Boilermaker territory at around the 44.
You know, they've done some good jobs on the run, and then they've done some poor jobs. That's been their history all year long. It's not like they just get blocked off their feet and totally overpowered. They get in bad position. Sometimes they make a good play, sometimes a bad play.
Gophers now over 100 yards rushing as a team after Leidner's run of 10. Smith, left side was effective on the last Minnesota possession, but not here. A loss of 1. Bentley's been busy.
Now, we've seen Leidner carry the ball a couple of times off a run fake, and I mentioned earlier in the show that watching the film that Purdue with the zone read had a lot of problems. So this is not exactly the zone read, but it's a fake with the quarterback carrying the ball predetermined, and it's been very effective.
Marcus Bailey, 21 for Purdue. He's the Boilermakers in tackles entering the game today. Wozniak in motion. Here's Leidner with time. The sideline, and the ball is caught inside the 40-yard line. There is still Miles Norwood on the tackle. And Norwood, he will see more playing time today with Tim Kaysen out with an injury. Kaysen, in fact, sophomore corner, did not even make the trip.
I don't think Jay Johnson will be happy with that throw, even though it was a completion. You saw Leidner was looking front side, looking for somebody to go down the seam. It wasn't there, and then he threw the ball backside, but there was a defender in the flat. That's a dangerous throw.
On 3rd and 3, they will run it with Smith. First down as he cuts back again inside the 30. Penalty marker thrown near the Purdue sideline at around the 40. For now, a gain of 8 as we wait on the flag.
There is no foul for illegal formation. Result of the play is a first down.
Minnesota, the most penalized team in the Big Ten. Entering play today, but no flag there, and a first down for the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, Tracy will be glad they picked that up. An illegal formation, that's an unforced foul. That's a lack of discipline, which they've had some problems. False starts, those type of things, and they picked it up. No harm, no foul.
It's Colton Beebe lined up right in front of the tailback, Rodney Smith. Leidner looking for Rashad Still. Still makes the catch, and he got a foot down. They'll mark him out at around the 6-yard line. A gain of 23 yards as Leidner finds Still.
Again, good protection. Great touch on the ball, put some air under it.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding, defense number 4. That penalty declined, result of the play, first down.
Rashad Still, just his 6th game of the season, broke his clavicle in the season opener. He's been a focal point for Leidner today.
Sophomore from El Paso, Texas. Look at that concentration.
Right foot down.
Great throw by Leidner. Great touch.
Leidner has hit in his last 5. First and goal for the Gophers. And Leidner will keep it. Spins inside the 5, around the 3. And I mentioned earlier that this is where Leidner's legs become effective. Inside the red zone, really inside the 10-yard line. Leidner will run it. And they'll mark him down at the 2.
Well, when you're a good run football team, which Minnesota is, and then you have the ability to run the fake and the quarterback come the other way with a counter action, or the ability to run option, awful tough for the defense to defend.
Leidner will keep it, and he drives forward for the touchdown. Lowered the shoulder and ran right at DeJuan Hunt, and the Gophers regain the lead. Leidner now with a rushing touchdown in 3 straight games. And now Carpenter can up the lead to 6. And he does. This game began with 10 straight Minnesota points. Boilermakers came back with 14 unanswered, and now 10 straight again for Minnesota. Capped off by Mitch Leiter's touchdown run. The Gophers lead by 6.
The Gophers have them totally off balance right now. They got the run going, the pass going, short pass, deep pass. Leitner carrying the ball. Of course, Rodney Smith is a threat every time he touches the ball. Everything's hitting on 8 cylinders for the Gophers offensively right now.
Smith, 12 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown. This is Brian Langford Johnson, and he will take a knee. And the ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Mike Hall, Stanley Jackson, and Howard Griffith will be along from our Chicago studio with all the scores, highlights, and news from around the Big Ten Conference. So the Purdue offense so far today. Blau, a couple of big throws. So far this quarter, the Boilermakers only 2 yards of offense. Minnesota, conversely, 122 yards of offense this quarter alone.
Important for Purdue to counter now, or at least control the ball a couple first downs.
There's the delay to Jones, and Markel Jones runs into the umpire. It's a first down as Jones and the umpire met. Gain of 11. Marius Travis, I guess, will be credited for the tackle, but really the umpire.
Good call, draw play. Run game's not working. They're figuring you're going to pass the ball, and man, you got to be a tough guy even if you're an umpire in the middle there.
There's Jones again as he spins for a gain of 3. Well, here's the United States Marine Corps leader of the game. Minnesota redshirt senior defensive back Demarius Travis from Pensacola. Achieved his undergraduate degree in sport management, currently pursuing postgraduate studies in human resource development. On second down, here's Blau. And he will try and run. Winston DeLatibo Dare was able to make the tackle. Blau was sacked and pick up 1 third down.
That was really good defensive end play. See so many times defensive ends, they rush up to the depth of the quarterback and keep getting depth. He didn't. He stopped. He retraced his steps. Quarterback pulled the ball down. He made the play.
See Purdue 2 of 6 on third down. This is 3rd and 6 from the 40. Here comes the blitz, and it's Yancey. D'Angelo Yancey's going to run away. Inside the 5, another big play for Purdue. Touchdown Boilermakers, 60 yards, Blau to Yancey.
Well, you can see here just a simple route, but you know, Jalen Myrick, who's a good defensive back, he just whiffed there, and that's a combination of poor by Myrick, and D'Angelo's an awful talented receiver. You know, it's a team game, and obviously Purdue defense has really been struggling, and Minnesota went down and scored. And I mentioned before that series, really important that they counter, which they did, or at least get a couple first downs. But man, I tell you, these big plays, you think that's going to back that Gopher defense off, and now they should be able to run the ball effectively and not always just have to run draw plays.
Dellinger to give Purdue the lead. And he does. And Purdue leads by 1. You see on third down, how about these numbers, Glenn? 5 of 6, 200 yards, and a couple of touchdowns, 1 to Posey and now Yancey.
Well, the key thing that doesn't show up there, I'm just going to tell you, for Purdue to stay in this game, regardless of what their defense is doing, they got to stiffen a little bit, but it's the turnovers. They eliminate those with that type of offense, watch out.
This will be Rodney Smith on the return, has a kickoff return for a touchdown. He was here against Rutgers a couple weeks back. And this time he's tripped up shy of the 30-yard line. Rodney Smith has been the go-to tailback today. Saw him on special teams a moment ago. And Shannon Brooks, we learned about 90 minutes before kickoff, will not play today with an injury. Leidner, though, has made a couple of good plays with his legs, a few timely passes. And we'll see if the Gophers can respond here down one.
A couple poor passes,
yeah.
A couple really good passes. That's that inconsistency part that I talk about.
Leidner 6 of 9 passing, 101 yards in the air. Leidner will throw, looking deep, and getting free is Eric Carter, and he makes the catch. The redshirt junior from Lakeland, Florida. This time earlier in the year with an ankle injury, Leidner answers Blau and the Boilermakers as he throws deep and finds Carter for a big play.
Yeah, and this play right here, I mean, talk about totally being beat. Our own Mike Hall would say he's playing America's favorite game of I'm wide open, or something like that.
51-yard play. This is Smith, and he is going to be dropped for a loss.
But, you know, let's go back to Minnesota. We talked about, and I said before, you know, they've got to throw the ball. They know that because if someone's going to load the box, they're going to take the safeties down, put 8, 9 men in the box. Awful tough to run against that. You've got to throw the ball, and that was the case there on first down. Purdue's overplaying the run, so you got man up on the outside, and Carter beat his guy, and Leidner put the ball in the money. Big play.
Loss of 1 after the tackle from Marcus Bailey. And Leidner going deep again, and can't connect with the shot. Still in the end zone. Clark and DeJuan Hunt on the coverage of still in the end zone. And 3rd down and long.
I talked to Tracy Clays about Mitch Leidner, and he said, you know, the thing about it, he says, he's the leader of our defense, and every player on this team believes in that guy. And that was in response to, at times, there's been some criticism of Mitch Leidner that he hasn't improved over the years like people would like.
Purdue showing pressure, and they bring it. And Leidner throwing on the run. And Drew Wolotarski with the catch. He'll be shy of the first down. Haven't called Wolotarski's name much today. It's been more still. So it'll be 4th and short. With 1:32 to play and decision time here for the Gophers.
Yeah, I thought Leidner was going to throw the ball out of bounds, but he found Drew Wolotarski, who is the all-time reception leader in high school in the state of California.
The second catch today for Wolotarski. And a timeout called. Minnesota takes time. Ryan Langford Johnson, St. Paul native. A chance to return this one. Boilermakers with 2 timeouts will start from their own 25-yard line. The Boilermakers will get the ball to begin the second half. The time here now, Glenn, for David Blau and the Boilermakers. The big play has been there so far this half.
Yeah, I mean, when they're in this situation this season, you don't want to be conservative, but at the same time, with their propensity to turn the ball over, do something dumb, I mean, they're right in this ball game. You like to see them try to do something rather conservative and see if they can break it to about midfield and then let her go. But you sure don't want to turn over in this end of the field right before the half. And Minnesota's been good at scoring right before the half.
Markel Jones, 6 carries, 26 yards. The tailback to Blau's left. And the Golden Gophers set up the screen. Purdue, and Jones is knocked backwards by Julian Huff, sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Let's check in downstairs, and here's Allison Hayes.
Corey Michael Mendez, offensive lineman for Purdue, he has his leg wrapped with ice up at the hamstring area. He's been limping, and now he has taken a seat on the bench, has his helmet off, guys.
And that is not insignificant, Allison. As we mentioned earlier when we saw Mendez leave, he has been so vital for Purdue as he has floated around from tackle to guard with the injury to Cameron Sermon. And Mendez sitting now as we are a minute 19 away from halftime.
Well, you called Julian Huff, number 20, who's a linebacker, but they like to utilize him in pass situations as a defensive end and rush, which he was there, and gave the impression that he was going to be coming from that defensive end position, but then he dropped off, and that's why he made the play like he did. Good defense called at the right time and a nice play by Julian Huff.
Minnesota did take a timeout, leaving the Gophers with one. Purdue has 2 timeouts remaining. There is Cameron Sermon. Played against Penn State, did not start the game last week. He's been battling a shoulder injury. 6'5", 323 senior from College Station, Texas.
So now here's what goes in the situation. They made a play, they used a timeout. They have 1 timeout. I'm talking about Minnesota. If you're Purdue, you want to make sure you don't stop the clock with an incomplete pass. Make them burn their last timeout.
There's a loss of 7. And here is Jones. He slips away once and then dives across the 20-yard line. And there is Travis on the tackle after a gain of 4 as the clock runs.
Yeah, I like the call, and Minnesota did not use the timeout, so the clock continues to run. And even if you don't pick this up here, and again, I would not stop the clock. Don't give Minnesota an opportunity to have the ball right before the half with a timeout, with enough time on the clock to do something.
Third down's been effective for Purdue, but you think the Boilermakers go the conservative route here, 3rd and long here with the clock running?
Absolutely.
So Jared Parker will take a timeout with the play clock at 1. That'll leave Purdue with 1 timeout remaining. 34 seconds to go until halftime. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. It'll be 3rd and 13 as David Blau, a solid first half. They take a chance or again stay conservative here.
I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run the football. I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to force Minnesota to, take a timeout and then I'm going to punt the ball away and be less than 30 seconds. See what Minnesota can do.
Celestine showing blitz, and they will indeed run it with Markel Jones, and he is down shy of the 25-yard line. And the clock will stop as the Gophers have called their last timeout. Important punt here for Joe Shopper, sophomore punter. He's been busy so far in this first half. Some good ones, bad ones.
Now I'm coming after that punt.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about a fake or anything. I'm going to see if I can block it right now.
Dante Harden to receive this punt. Remember, if you're the Gophers, you really don't need that much on offense with the way that Emmitt Carpenter's been kicking so far today. Harden's going to watch this one bounce, and a fantastic punt there from Shopper, rolling inside the 25-yard line. So the sophomore steps up in a big way, 53 yards there for Shopper on that booming punt.
Come on, Coach Parker, go over and talk to him. Yeah. You think he would have got a boy?
He got a handshake from the kicker, J.D. Dellinger, but that's it.
Yeah, you gotta go over there and say, man, good job. Just when we needed you. 15 seconds.
No timeouts for Minnesota. Purdue does have 1. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming up next.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm looking at. If I'm going to move it here and see what I can do, I'm going to try to find the big fella from El Paso, Texas, 6'5", still matched up. And if I'm Purdue, I'm telling them back up a little bit.
Still with 4 catches, 87 yards, and that one's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10-yard line, staying in bounds, and the ball comes free at around the 3-yard line.
All I can say is wow. Again, oh man.
So Minnesota wasn't conservative. Wolotarski kept on going, underthrown, intercepted by Purdue, and the Boilermakers make a huge play. Antonio Blackman with the interception sets up a 1st and goal for Purdue with 1 timeout remaining.
And 5 seconds though. And this is what's tough. Now, Coach Parker, interim head coach, he's getting an indoctrination.
Fumble forward and out of bounds. Ball be brought back to the spot of the fumble. 1st down, Purdue.
Now, Coach Parker, he's getting an indoctrination under fire here because he's got 5 seconds, but he's got a timeout, and he's got a sure field goal here right now. But you never know what's going to happen if you truly run a play. And And what happens if it's bobbled in the end? I mean, it's got to be caught in the end zone. You can't run a run and play because you're not sure that it'll be down where you can call a timeout quick enough. And or do you just run out there and kick the field goal? And now you go in.
Here comes David Blau. Here comes David Blau with 5 seconds. And the call, the ball was ruled to be fumbled forward, so they mark it at around the 3.
You got to throw the ball here. You can't risk the run. You might end without a chance at the field goal.
And Blau rolling, he will throw, and it's caught for a touchdown. Bryson Hopkins, his 4th touchdown catch this season, and the Boilermakers lead.
And the Boo Birds are out. And that's why Mitch Leidner, let's face it, has really got a lot of criticism here as a senior starter and over the years because of he's made some really good plays, but he's made some really bad ones that we saw right there.
The 5th lead change. 0's on the clock. Dellinger for the extra point. David Blau with 3 touchdown passes. That one to Hopkins. And Purdue, for the 2nd time in 3 weeks, leads at the half. And here come the Boo Birds in the Twin Cities. Jared Parker seeking his first win as the interim head coach. Another solid first half for the Boilermakers. Emmitt Carpenter, a bright spot for the Gophers in the first half, will send this one away. Brian Langford Johnson have a return. He will not. It'll be a touchback. 25-yard line is where Purdue will start. You see Carpenter there. Field goals of 52 and 53 yards in the first half. Still Purdue leading by 5. Now the big play has been there today for the Boilermakers. You see those numbers. Can that trend continue? Can that kind of storyline continue through 2 halves of football?
Well, if it does, it's going to spell doom for the Gophers. I still think that, you know, the Gophers are going to have to make some adjustments. The run game should open up better for Purdue than it has been this year. A year ago, they ran the ball pretty decently.
Markel Jones, the tailback, 32 yards rushing in the first half. He has a nice run here as he slips across the 30-yard line. Jack Lynn on the tackle, the co-captain for the Gophers after a pickup of 8 for Jones.
That's just a draw play, and when you're throwing the ball a lot, how do you slow down the rush? You go with a draw, your screen, they hit the draw. That's the 2nd time they've hit a good draw this game.
Jones coming off a fantastic freshman season. He's been injured here this year, fighting through a shoulder injury, tweaked his ankle late last week against Penn State. And he will pick up the first down after a gain of about 3 yards.
See, I like that call again. They don't have much running attack, but go ahead and go back to the run, and anytime you have a chance to get a first down and move the chains, go ahead and do it, because in doing that, you're keeping your defense on the sideline with Coach Parker.
So 2 plays, both on the ground, and now Blau throwing over the middle. That's been the area he has gone throughout the day, and it's caught by Herdman, the tight end. He has a touchdown catch today. Duke McGee on the coverage, and did he have possession? There's Blau over the middle. Slightly behind. And he was not free. Did Duke McGee intercept this pass? You know, this ball is thrown behind Herdman. Then watch Duke McGee as he pins it against the leg, and then he turns around. He's got the ball against his chest.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass. The play is under further review.
Let's see when his knee hits the ground.
Right knee down, but where's the ball? Gopher fans here, they believe this is going to be a Duke McGee interception. As you see, the ball got behind the thigh of Herdman. Never hit the ground. Duke McGee missed most of last week's game at Illinois after a targeting penalty. Purdue leading by 5, and a big call upcoming here.
You know, I like this where the official on the field has the ability to look at it along with the replay official.
I think this is the best look. A great job by our crew here. Ball never hit the ground. Never hit the ground. It's pinned up against the leg of Herdman. And Duke McGee just kind of stuck with it, tumbling down, but he had the ball against his helmet. Let's check in with Mike Pereira now in LA. Mike, what do you think?
Our whole staff has been looking at this. The issue was, did the ball get pulled out before that knee hit the ground? Of course, if the knee hit the ground, he still had control, then it would remain a catch. But to me, actually the ball gets pulled away before the knee gets the ground, and certainly the defender ended up with the ball, and clearly it did not hit the ground. So we think here in Los Angeles, it's an interception.
So the knee, as Mike was saying, Mike, the knee not down. And you see the ball moving there, doesn't have control, and Duke McGee does there. Here's the call here from Don Willard.
After further review, the receiver did not have possession of the football. The ball never hit the ground. Therefore, it is an interception. Minnesota's ball, 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Please reset the game.
David Blau with 13 interceptions, his first today, most in FBS, despite 4 touchdowns. And heck of a play here, Glenn, from Duke McGee.
Yeah, he stayed right after the play and pulled it on out, and he played through the whistle. And, you know, the Gopher players right away, they all signal an interception. And they're right.
Rodney Smith, 69 yards rushing in the first half, and Leidner will throw. And he has Wolotarski. And he's spun out near the 30-yard line by Leroy Clark. So Leidner that time, moving out of the pocket. Gain of 12 for Wolotarski. That's Wolotarski's 3rd catch here today. He's a guy that you thought would be an impactful player.
Both guys that I thought were having a bearing on this game today.
This is Rodney Smith. As he drives forward across the 25-yard line, a 6-yard gain for Rodney Smith. Now, if you missed the story in the first half, impacting the Golden Gopher running game today, the 1-2 punch of Smith and Brooks, not a factor today. Shannon Brooks out with an injury. So it's been Rodney Smith. We've seen a few carries from Colby Mccrary. The absence of Brooks is a significant story today. Here's Smith again, big hole, lowers the helmet for a first down. Leroy Clark trying to slow him down, but not before. A big play and a big run there for Smith. He picks up 9 on the first down. Turnover margin to see Minnesota. This was entering play today. Time with Ohio State, +10 in the Big Ten. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Purdue dead last, -12 in turnover margin before today's ball game. The teams now with 1 turnover today. And this is Leidner. Has a rushing touchdown today, and he's going to pick up about 4 to the 11. Danny Izuchukwu among those in on the stop. Leidner, 174 yards passing today. He's run for 41. Mentioned the touchdown run. Rashad still had a good first half. He's lined up at the bottom of your screen. This is Rodney Smith. And he is spinning forward to about the 7.
Well, Minnesota has exclusively used a 12 personnel in this drive. 1 back, 2 tight ends, and sun's in Mitch's eyes as he looks back trying to get the signal, but you just got the feeling that they didn't like what happened before half. If they can run the ball and just control it, just run it in here to retake the lead, that's what we're going to get.
It's third down and short. Bolton Beebe in motion. On third down, it is Smith. First down and more. Smith to the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Seven-yard touchdown run for Rodney Smith, his second today. And the Golden Gophers take advantage of the turnover and regain the lead.
Yeah, well, this whole series, you just credit the offensive line. This is just way too easy there, Purdue. They're just running inside zone, and basically the back's going in the end zone standing up. Not going to win the game playing run defense that way, not against the Gophers.
Smith was also running right behind Jonah Persig. Right tackle active today for the first time in a few weeks. So off the turnover, Rodney Smith with a touchdown run. Now Rodney Smith well on his way to his sixth 100-yard rushing game of the season. And the Gophers lead by 2. Glenn, as we go back to the touchdown a moment ago.
Yeah, I talked about the line blocking here. Let's just watch 21 there. Marcus Bailey right there. You see Marcus Bailey? I'm going to tell you, you want to play linebacker in the Big Ten? I'm 235. Well, here's Calhoun and Persig coming at you, 300 and 320. And, man, that's a rough goal right there. He's thinking, hey, man, you got to keep those guys off me. I can't do it all by myself. Good line blocking touchdown.
Rodney Smith, third in the Big Ten in rushing per game. 3 straight 100-yard rushing games and 95 yards so far today. Ryan Langford Johnson awaiting this kick from Emmitt Carpenter. And deep in his own end zone, no chance here for Langford Johnson. Here's the Allied Bank do it right. As we go again to the touchdown run here from Rodney Smith. He was patient too, Glenn, waiting for Calhoun and Persig to open up that hole.
I'd wait for those guys too. That's my personal but. Hey, but so far, the Purdue second half, first series turnover, that's been the story of the last couple of weeks. And play awfully well the first half and self-destruct the second.
David Blau, 231 yards passing, but not much in the ground. Celestine showing pressure and flags.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And Cameron Posey, wide receiver. Third penalty total here today.
He got a little nervous. He saw Celestine coming on the blitz, and I don't know what he thought he could do.
This is Markel Jones. He slips free once, and Markel Jones brought down near the 30-yard line. After a gain of 9, Duke McGee made the tackle, but you go back to last year, Markel Jones was terrific. As for this game today, game 2 of our triple-header. Good one still to come tonight here on BTN. Number 12, Penn State, taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Kevin Kugler, Matt Millen, Lisa Byington will have that for you coming up later on tonight. Game 3 of our triple-header here on BTN. On second down and 6. Blau with time, airs it out. Yancey, and that one knocked away by Myrick.
Awful good coverage by Jalen Myrick, number 5. You know, we saw the one in the first half where Yancey brought it down. It was a little bit better throw. It was because the outside, the first one, the second one, it's to the inside. And quite honestly, Purdue very fortunate that Myrick didn't pick that off.
Third down has been the magic down for Purdue, and they have gone over the middle and beaten Minnesota over the middle on a few occasions on third down today. It's a 3rd and 6. Minnesota rushing for Blau to the outside this time. It's caught by Blau Marshall for a first down near the 40.
Well, you mentioned that third down's been the key for Purdue. Some big plays and a little different defensive concept. Before they had one high safety play in man coverage with pressure. Now we got two high safeties, so you got the ability to get some easier throws, but the chance of a home run is probably negated.
From the 39, this is Jones, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage by Celestine. Leads the Gophers in tackles, his nickname Thumper. Says it was a package deal. He did a nice interview this week with BTN's Tom Dienhart. Same high school as Rodney Smith, both from Jonesboro, Georgia. Rather recruited by SEC schools, ACC schools. Package deal. Both here in Minnesota. And making an impact. There's a gain of 1. And Blau still looking, and now finds Herdman, as he is going to be hit shy of the first down. And Blau was patient that time. Celestine in on the stop again, but Blau that time didn't force anything. He was patient, found Herdman.
Well, you know, one thing that we talked to Jason Bell about the defensive coordinator was the pressure, and he said, you know what you have to do, you have to contain on the outside, and you got to collapse in the middle. They can't have that cone in front of them, and that's not what they're getting done today. You can see that Blau has the ability to step up and throw the football or scramble out of there.
See, that's Blau at the bottom of your screen. This is the Amtrak package. They use Marshall. I've seen this look a few times already. It's third down and 1, and Marshall's going to run it, and he's going nowhere. Duke McGee and Jack Lynn blew that up from the get-go, fourth down.
Amtrak got derailed, baby. I'd pull that over. I'd take a boat next time. I'm not going to take that train.
There's 50, Jack Lynn. He was first. Duke McGee cleaned it up. And Purdue is going to punt. Joe Shopper was busy in the first half despite all the offense that we had. Deontay Harden Simmons for the fair catch, and that's what happens around the 20-yard line. And plus basketball coming up on Friday. That's Colby Mccrary.
I think it's a really important series for the Purdue defense, Corey. You know, last time there was a turnover, but Minnesota went right through them, and you know, for them to be able to put Minnesota in a situation to punt the ball away and get the ball back to their offense, you know, psychologically they need to rise the occasion here and not let Minnesota drive the ball.
And a 2 for Mccrary. Here's Leidner. He's going to keep it. And Leidner, the left side, will be shoved out by C.J. Parker. Safety. It'll be third down after a gain of 5 for Leidner.
Yeah, we talked going in this game about Purdue having problems with the quarterback carrying the ball on a zone read or any type of quarterback keep off a fake, and that has played out pretty significantly today.
Minnesota 3 of 9 on third down today. The Boilermakers overall this season have struggled defensively on third down, but better the last couple of weeks. And Leidner drops the ball, picks it up, and he's going to be short. Ended up getting a yard. Eddie Wilson, the tackle, but Leidner dropped it from the get-go, and that play really going nowhere.
Yeah, critical mistake. Third and short, center quarterback exchange from the T formation, and you know, from an offensive coaching standpoint, those things you think should be correct 100% of the time. Should never have a problem. The degree of difficulty of that is minimal, to say the least.
So bring on Ryan Santoso to punt. Kimbrough to receive this punt, and he will call for the fair catch, and he will do that at the 30-yard line.
He's got that run game going now, and you look at Illinois, 146 yards by Foster. What's happened to that Michigan State run defense?
So the Boilermakers have it, down by 2, and that one goes backwards. Markel Jones swarmed by several Gophers, including Scott Ekpe, redshirt senior from Louisville, Texas. Cameron Posey and D'Angelo Yancey were active in the first half, popular targets for Purdue, but nothing yet for either receiver here in the second half. After a loss of 3, pressure coming, Blau in and out of the hands of the tight end Hopkins.
Very fortunate there again, you know, more often than not when a ball is thrown and goes off the fingertips of a receiver and goes up in the air like that, man, you saw Winfield, he thought, man, I wish I wasn't so close. I'd have had that. I'd have been dancing in the end zone.
Hopkins had the touchdown catch right before the half that gave Purdue the lead. It was 28-23 Purdue at halftime. Now the Gophers lead by 2. 3rd down and long. Blau avoids the rush, stays alive. The flip to Jones, who can't keep his feet. And it'll be 4th down. If Jones can keep his feet after that last spin, he has a lot of room in front.
Well, the Gophers brought a blitz again right up the middle. It wasn't picked up. This time Blau avoided it. Did some nifty footwork there. Outran one man and then tossed the ball to Jones. But credit the Gophers to relentless pursuit and getting him down before the 1st down.
Demarius Travis on the tackle. Here comes Joe Shopper, his 6th punt. Another good one. This will send Harden inside the 20. It's going to go out of bounds. And we'll see where they mark it. It's going to be inside the 15-yard line. So nice job again there from Shopper. He had an earful early today from his head coach, but that one goes for 53 yards. And the Golden Gophers will have it leading by 2. Into Sports Light with Mike Hall. Each week, join Mike and hang out with your favorite Big Ten alums, student athletes, coaches, and fans. Don't miss an all-new Sports Light with Mike Hall, Wednesday night, 11 Eastern only on BTN.
What a talented guy Mike Hall is. I only have one problem with him. I follow him on Twitter, and 95% of the stuff he puts there, I have no idea what he's talking about. Other than that, he's a great guy.
Not bad, Mike. Just one negative. There's Leidner throwing on 1st down. And incomplete to Wolotarski.
Now, Purdue rose to the occasion last time out on the field against the Gophers. Forced them to punt. Little help from the Gophers on the fumbled snap on 3rd down. But here we go, 2nd and 10. And I would think the Gophers will try to run it here. Even though it's 2nd and 10, they threw an incomplete pass. And Rodney Smith's got the ability to take a good play and turn it into a great play.
Smith is in the game, lined up right behind Leidner. Leidner, 9 of 15 today for 174 yards passing, and here is Smith. And Rodney Smith is going to run out across the 20-yard line, so you call for the run. There it is. It'll be 3rd and management.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, you give him a crease, he's going to get 5 yards out of 3-yard blocking, and he's going to get 10 yards out of 5-yard blocking. Just the way it is.
Gain of 7. That will push Smith over 100 yards rushing today. 6th time he's done that this season, and his 4th straight 100-yard rushing game.
I'd run it again.
Juwan Bentley, number 4, and here he comes rushing for Purdue, but Leidner's going to throw it to the side, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Intended for Eric Carter. With great coverage there from Navon Mosley, the freshman safety.
Yeah, you're right. They went with the flag route. It's a good route, and Leidner, you can see that ball's underthrown. You know, he's turning around, backstepping, trying to catch it. You'd like to see that thrown over the outside shoulder and him catching, going away, maybe going out of bounds after he catches, but that ball was underthrown.
Despite the fact that Mosley never got his head turned around, kept the hands up. Underthrown there from Leidner, so it's going to be Kimbrough again back to receive this punt. 2nd straight 3-and-out for Minnesota. Santoso to Kimbrough, and no return. Fair catch at the 40-yard line. So field position again there for Purdue. Down by 2 with 3:43 to play in the third quarter. A quiet second half so far for Purdue. As Blau underneath. This is Markel Jones spinning across the 45. Hendrick Ekpe made the tackle.
I can tell you, I've watched Minnesota today. They really don't respect Blau as a runner, or they don't think he wants to run, because contain is not a big issue with them to the outside. There's been a number of times he could have just pulled it down and taken off and run, but he doesn't do it.
The Boilermakers have not crossed midfield yet this quarter after a gain of 7. Here comes Lynn, the pressure, Blau throwing, and incomplete for Yancey.
I think that sun was right in his eyes. Look at that, yeah. I think you'd be better suited calling that route the other way. I think that sun, well, maybe, yeah, but that sun was right in the quarterback's eyes.
4 of 11 on third down. Marshall in motion at the top of your screen. Minnesota rushing 4, and the ball is caught, but Herman brought down shy the first down by Travis.
Yeah, what a break on the ball by Demarius Travis. And looking there, Coach Parker there on the sideline thought, oh no. I mean, he's glad that it was caught and tackled for a loss rather than a little bit behind that receiver going the other way. Dangerous throw there by David Blau.
Travis granted a medical hardship after injuring his hamstring in the opener last year against TCU, redshirt senior. So Harden back to receive this punt from Joe Shopper. And Harden will catch it around the 11. 2:16 to play, a 40-yard punt there from Shopper.
Corey, you mentioned about field position. You're right. I mean, now Purdue hasn't taken advantage of good field position, but they keep putting Minnesota back in the hole.
Rodney Smith, another great day, 102 yards rushing. He has scored twice as we look at the day so far for Smith. And he's adding on to his fantastic sophomore season, the redshirt sophomore, in fact. His 6th 100-yard rushing game of the season. And still a quarter plus left to be played today. The last 8 minutes of game action, a team, neither Minnesota or Purdue has picked up a first down. Here is Smith as he sweeps it outside. Smith cuts back. The 30 still going across the 35-yard line. He started outside, cut back inside, and Rodney Smith for 26 more. First down, Minnesota.
You know, I just happened to be thinking about this guy before he broke this big run, and you mentioned earlier that he was teammates with Celestine, the linebacker, and that both he and Celestine were not recruited very much out of Georgia. What were those recruiters looking at down there? What did they like? Both these guys are outstanding players.
A knee injury his junior year of high school really kind of kept Smith under the radar. And came to Minnesota with Celestine having a huge year as Leitner, incomplete down the near side, looking for Smith, and we have a flag on the field around midfield.
Looks like offensive pass interference.
Clays looks on.
Yeah.
Pass interference. Offense, number 44. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
It's on Colton Beebe, tight end for the Gophers, as Tracy Clays is. He's saying, watch the replay. Reading his lips, he's asking the officials, hey, watch the replay. You know, but speaking of this tight end package for Minnesota.
Yeah, you can see it right there. He's trying to get through traffic, and what Coach Clays is complaining about, he's saying the defender's holding my guy, and you've called him for offensive pass interference.
He was engaged there with Marcus Bailey. Evan Panfield on the tackle, on the tackle that time for Purdue. No gain for Rodney Smith.
Coach Clays is saying, look at the replay, and he might be right, but unfortunately that's not a reviewable call.
Well, second down at 25. See the thick beard there from Mitch Leidner.
I'd watch the draw play again. If I was Purdue, I'd be telling those guys up front, ready for that draw.
Well, there's Smith right behind Leidner. He's going to throw it. Has a man open. There's Wolotarski across the 30, and he's going to take Leroy Clark for a few more near the 35. Wolotarski was a guy from the get-go, Glenn. You thought he was going to be a big-time option today for Minnesota.
Yeah, that's just the form of the bubble screen, and you know the big mistake Wolotarski made there on any bubble screen. You tell the guy, keep forcing it outside, all the way to the sideline. He cut back in earlier, and that's where the pursuit will get you, and that's what happened.
Fourth catch today for Wolotarski. For the last play of the quarter, 19 seconds, third down and 13. There's Carter in motion. And Leidner finds Carter as he cuts back to the 40, and he's going to be shy of the first down. And that will indeed be the last play of the quarter. Set to begin the fourth quarter from Minneapolis. Purdue led by 5 at halftime, but now a 2-point Minnesota lead. We had a ton of offense, ton of scoring early. The only scoring in the third quarter, a Rodney Smith 7-yard touchdown run. Minnesota by 2. Purdue will get the ball back as Ryan Santoso will boot this one away to Malik Kimbrough, and he's going to signal for the fair catch and do that at the 21-yard line. Back with Glenn Mason, Corey Provis, and visiting with the Purdue coaches this week, and even going back to the last couple of weeks, trick plays have been a part of Jared Parker's offense and the package that they've run, but haven't seen that yet today.
Yeah, we haven't seen one yet. I know the Minnesota coach is concerned about that, nothing you can do about it. Talking to Terry Malone, when we asked him, you have trick plays? He says, I got a whole bag full. Well, let me tell you something, partner. You're in the fourth quarter. Now you're just taking them back to West Lafayette with you. Let's see what you got.
David Blau today has thrown for 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. And that came in the third quarter, led to the Rodney Smith go-ahead touchdown for Minnesota. Blau throwing on first down. This is Yancey. And he slips free down the sideline. Great move across the 40-yard line. First reception this half for Yancey.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Jalen Myra came to this guy, well respected, one of the best in the Big Ten, but Yancey's giving him a schooling lesson today.
Gain of 20. And Blau rolling and still looking downfield and lets it fly. And it's going to be incomplete. As the shoot came out, Keontae Harden went for the interception, lost his shoe. There was contact there between both number 3s, Harden for Minnesota and Bilal Marshall for Purdue.
Yeah, what a great job by Keontae Harden, number 3. When the quarterback breaks contained and going wild, and you see they get a little tangled up. The people here thought it should have been offensive pass interference. But once again, Purdue very, very fortunate because Harden definitely had position to make that play.
Second down and 10. From the 41. Here comes the pressure, and Blau overthrows Marshall. He was open.
He was wide open, and that ball sailed, and I don't know if it was a result of slipping out of his hand and going high, or he thought that Marshall was going to be running an out cut, but that was about as bad a pass off the mark that we've seen Blau throw all day long.
Last few weeks, Blau, his first half numbers, not just yards up, but also accuracy is up the first half, but both plummet in the second half. Not just the yards, but the accuracy of his throws also diminish in the second half during this 3-game losing streak. Third down and 10. Blau underneath, and this will be a first down for Markel Jones.
Well, Minnesota has changed their concept of the third and long. They're still trying to pressure. They're sending a guy right up the middle, but they're going more with a zone blitz so that Purdue doesn't have the opportunity to hit that slant route with no free safety and take it the distance. This is the right call. He just dumped it off to Jones, and he's going to take it north and south. Long yardage on 3rd down, and they convert. Big play for Purdue.
13-yard play. So now the Boilermakers have it at the Minnesota 46-yard line. Blau in trouble, and Blau is going to go down. Steven Richardson, the junior from Chicago, provided the pressure that time for Minnesota. 3rd sack today for the Gophers.
Yeah, I'll tell you who did a real nice job there was the middle linebacker, Nick Wallace, because he came and he was picked up, but man, hey, you just don't trade 1 for 1. He went right through the guy, and guarantee you Blau felt that pressure. Great job by Nick Wallace.
Sorry, Glenn Richardson battled injuries last year. With the sack, Blau in trouble again, and the ball came free at the 45-yard line, and Minnesota has it. Steven Richardson again making a difference on defense. Julian Huff ended up with the ball. A costly Purdue turnover. And Richardson's left hand.
Yeah, you know, different game, same story for Purdue. You know, they played a really fine game, their situation. Now here's the second half. 2 turnovers the second half. As we mentioned, they had 3 last week in a game that they were right in at halftime, and they're self-destructed once again, Corey.
Second turnover for Purdue. Here's Markel Jones, as we have said throughout the day. He has battled injury after injury here this season after a phenomenal freshman year. Leidner will throw it, and it's going to be caught by Eric Carter, as he's going to have a first down across the 35-yard line. Without Brian Smith, a guy like Eric Carter, and we've seen Rashad Steele, who had a productive first half. Other receivers have to step up after losing the second leading receiver. Brian Smith kicked off the team this week.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this Gopher football team is a young football team. They only have 13 seniors or graduates or 50-year guys, and most of the guys that you see coming back, playing, are coming back.
Leidner's going to throw it. Leidner all day as Wolotarski across the 15, shoved out inside the 10. Leidner had the time. Wolotarski ran the route over the middle. A pickup of 24, 1st and goal, Minnesota.
Look at the time that he has. Credit the offensive line. And we talk about being wide open. And if I was going to cover one guy, it would be 82, Wolotarski, because 40 receptions on the year coming in here. He's the go-to guy. He's the guy that Leidner has a lot of confidence with. You can't let him wide open. Pitch and catch.
His 5th catch today, 65 yards. 1st and goal, Minnesota driving up by 2. In the 4th quarter, Leidner's going to keep it. Leidner across the 5, touchdown, Golden Gophers. Nate Wozniak, the seal. He kept that lane open for Leidner as he picks up his 2nd rushing touchdown today.
Yep, no edge on the defense, and that big fella, hard to tackle him when you're coming inside out. As Tracy Clay said, you know, we're good at getting turnovers. We're better at getting points off of turnovers, which is more important.
And they did it in the 3rd quarter, and they do it now here in the 4th quarter. Carpenter drives it through, and the lead stretches to 9.
Plus 11 in turnovers, and the other team is minus 13 or thereabouts. One's good and one's bad.
So Purdue will have it from the 25 after the touchback. Let's check in now with Rick Pizzo for this studio update. Rick? All right, Rick, we have seen that lopsided score with Michigan on numerous occasions so far this year.
Well, if Coach Harbaugh get you in that situation, there is no mercy.
Look at that graphic there. First half, terrific production, points, no turnovers. But a quiet second half, no scores, and 2 costly turnovers. Tario Fuller is now the tailback as Blau's going to throw off his back foot and knocked away. Almost looked like Marshall became a defensive back there as he went back on that ball, competing for it with Demarius Travis.
Yeah, when you look right here, I mean, there's some hand fighting going on right there, but this is a wish throw by the quarterback. He's under pressure. He's throwing off his back foot. He has no idea if that receiver's open or not. You know, you can't, on a deep throw, if you can't put your whole body into it, don't throw it because it's probably going to come up short. More often than not, it's a pick.
Markel Jones remains in the sideline. It is Fuller. Richie Worship is injured today, a tailback that the Boilermakers use, but he's out with an injury. Blau has to roll and throw. It's caught by Mahungu, and he slips free once, and it'll be brought down near the first down marker. So a gain of about 9, and it'll be 3rd down and 1.
You know, regardless of what situation you game, you can't get to desperation, and a couple of those plays by Blau there look like desperation. Now they pick up the first down. They go back to what you're doing before. Mix it up, and we haven't seen the slant route for a while that was really good in the first half, but credit Minnesota's defense. They've changed what they've done.
And it's 6. Saw the quick snap there, Jack Wagner. As Purdue has to kind of use some different bodies without Richie Worship. No David Yancey in on this road trip either. He did not make the trip, and that one thrown down, and they're going to call it a live ball, and it's picked up by Minnesota and a touchdown. Kamal Martin for now with a touchdown.
Did the ball go forward or backwards? I thought it went forward from up here initially.
Looking for Wagner, and looking at that angle.
The ruling on the field is a backward pass recovered by the defense for a touchdown. Plays under further review.
Wagner trying to get open, setting up that play, and
it's close, but here we go again. It was ruled on the field that it was.
Let's look at David Blau here. Ruling on the field is a backwards pass picked up by Kamal Martin, and for now it's a Minnesota touchdown. All right, let's check in now with Mike Pereira in LA. Mike, what do you think about this play here with David Blau, this throw?
Let's talk about the rule first. The rule basically is this, that if it's parallel, it's backwards. And you have to look at the release of the pass right when it leaves the passer's hand to where it first touches the ground. And to me, he releases it about the 31.5 and it goes forward to the 32. You're going to see him drop back here and then throw it to me forward, hits it about the 32-yard line. I think it's a half a yard forward. And to me, if I'm in the booth looking at this, I reverse it to an incomplete pass.
All right, Mike, so that ball, your belief is that he lets this one go from around the 31. The ball hits the ground near the 32. And it looks like we have a decision. Let's check in now with Don Willard. Here's the call.
After further review, it was a forward incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 51 seconds. 10:51, please.
Mike, thank you, and right again.
Hey, who's
Nailed
better
it.
than Mike Pereira?
Nailed
Huh? He had it right on there, all the way from California. I think about 5 minutes ago, I said I thought it was forward too.
That's right.
You know.
So it's going to be a 2nd down and 10. Rawless and Celestine showing pressure now. Rawless drops back. Here comes Celestine on the rush, and it's incomplete. Blau cannot connect with Marshall. Third and long.
Yeah, you know what they've done? They know that Purdue has trouble with pressure. They got burned, I told you, in the first half by playing man and man-free coverage. So what are they doing? Just coming with a zone blitz. What they're doing is they're pumping linebackers through, dropping the defensive end back. Smart adjustments by Jason Phil, the defensive coordinator, and keeping two high safeties. They might complete a pass, but it's probably not going to go the whole way. I like what they're doing.
On third and long. Wagner picks up Celestine for now. Blau's going to flip it to Wagner. Can't hang on, and he was going to get lit up by Keontae Harden. If he catches that ball, here comes number 3 in maroon. So fourth down, and Purdue will punt.
Yeah, what we're seeing now, Purdue, they've thrown the playbook out. They've gone to sandlot football. That's what they've done. It's they're wishing and hoping, and normally that doesn't get it done. It's not going to get it done against a good defense like the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
And now Joe Shopper back out to punt. It'll be Harden. Blau this half after a terrific first half, 8 of 18. That's going to bounce it around the 23 and skip out. Just inside the 20.
Big game for both those teams, but they want to stay right in the thick of things. They got to win that game in Lincoln.
Schedule picks up big time for Minnesota, Glenn, the rest of the way. This is Colby Mccrary, from Chipley, Florida, off the right side, picks up 4. Marcus Bailey in on the tackle for Purdue, but as you think more about Minnesota, Glenn, moving forward, and we saw Mccrary carry that ball there. The injury to Shannon Brooks, and I'm sure we'll learn more from Tracy Claeys after the game. That is a significant storyline worth watching as Minnesota tries to stay in this Western Division race. And look at that scene right there, something you referenced earlier,
yeah.
Rodney Smith looking at his right ankle, right foot.
You never have too many running backs, and you know we don't want to speculate on Shannon, but he had that injury earlier in the year that he had surgery. And
Ryder throwing, and it's... Officials will chat. It was Rashad Still, the intended receiver. He was knocked around by Leroy Clark, and he was trying to hang on to it as he was falling down.
Pass.
And the ruling is an incomplete pass, as we'll take a look. It's going to be fourth down regardless.
Well, it was a whale of a break on the ball, and watch the concentration and
possession there.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if I'm Coach Parker, I'm saying, you got to look at this. Watch it here. He's got it. Yeah, let's see.
The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. Plays under further review.
Possession. I think he drags that toe.
And his left knee hit the ground before he got out. The question is, did he have it control all the way to the ground?
Well, this should be a good look here.
I think he's got his hand under the ball.
It's not moving. Does he? Oh, it comes out there at the end.
Yeah, but he's got his hand under the ball. Let's see it. Oh, yeah.
Yep, that comes out there at the end.
There is a great shot right there. I'm sorry. What?
And there, to me, that's the telling.
Yeah,
right there.
Right there. See it? Yep. Great camera work by our guys.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is an incomplete pass. Fourth down.
So 9:06 to play. Mitch Leidner and the Golden Gophers forced to punt. There's Ryan Santoso.
That would have made things interesting.
Yeah.
Still interesting. Where's the trick play? This series. Predicting a trick play by Purdue. Write it down.
As Kimbrough with the catch at around the 31-yard line. Here you see Markel Jones on your right. Did not appear the last offensive series for Purdue. No helmet. And meanwhile, Rodney Smith
sure doesn't appear too serious, does he? He
Yeah.
looks like he's chomping at the bit to get back in there.
He had his right ankle retaped. So it looks like Smith is going to give it a try, but Markel Jones for now, he's a spectator. Down by 9. Here comes the pressure. Blau will throw, and it's caught. There's Cameron Posey across the 40 and spun out. It'll be a first down at around the 43-yard line. Carter Coughlin made the tackle as Blau finds Posey a gain of 11.
Yeah, Carter Coughlin. I mean, look at the break on the ball. That's a dangerous throw. You saw Carter Coughlin, highly recruited guy at Eden Prairie. His dad played here. His mom played here. His grandpa was the athletic director here. He's a Gopher through and through.
Recruited by Ohio State and Oregon, but like you said, deep ties here. Deontay Harden's going to tackle David Blau after a gain of 2. But getting back to the Markel Jones storyline, as you see David Blau, no semblance of a running game right now with Jones again out.
Well, there hasn't been a semblance of running game all year long for these guys. It's pretty much abandoned it.
Wagner, the tailback to Blau's left. Here comes the pressure. Blau throwing, and it's bobbled and dropped by Yancey. It was Jalen Myrick. He got a hand in there to knock it free.
Yeah, I tell you, Jalen Myrick, he's had some good plays, he's had some bad plays, but he's had a lot of work, and that ball was thrown just a little bit behind Yancey. You got to get that ball out in front of him there, David. You're better than that.
Too early to think about 4-down territory right now if you're Purdue and how you kind of call this 3rd and 8?
Yeah, I think it's too early. You don't convert and give it Minnesota the ball here, they're probably going to score again. Can't do that to your defense.
Here comes the pressure. Blau steps up with time, now throws low, and Posey with the catch right near the marker. Had to get to the 47-yard line. Antoine Winfield Jr. on the coverage. And we'll see on the spot. And it's a first down.
Now to answer your question, if that would have been short there, that close, then I go for it.
That's how the pressure coming, and Blau stepped up, bought some more time, and nice catch there for Posey.
Where's my trick play?
Haven't seen it just yet. To the near side, and it's caught. This is Greg Phillips as he steps out inside the 40-yard line.
When I was talking to Jay Seville, the defensive coordinator today, I said, how's your team been tackling? He said, I'm really happy with the tackling. Not so much after this game. Secondary, a lot of yards after the catch, and easier said than done, but you know, he's really high in those defensive backs, and he'll expect them to make those plays. Fine if they catch the ball, but not that extra yardage.
We saw Bell first year as the Gophers defensive coordinator, 6th year with Minnesota. There's Blau throwing deep and can't connect with Mahungu, but we have a flag. Anthony Mahungu in double coverage, and the ball thrown towards the back of the end zone.
Pass interference, defense number 21, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Ray Buford, redshirt freshman. Among 5 Gopher players who had a restraining order lifted this week, a settlement reached, allowing Buford and also Keontae Harden, among others, to be eligible to play here at home. So the penalty gives Purdue a first down on the Minnesota 22-yard line. Markel Jones back in the game. Good sign there for Purdue. As Blau pumps and now throws, and incomplete for Herdman. He was battling with Demarius Travis down the sideline.
Well, Little pump fake and good protection and no chance there. And good protection by Travis. And they're not quite in the red zone yet, but when they get there, they've not been very good in the red zone this year.
Struggled all year. David Blau, 335 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. He has thrown 1 interception that led to a Minnesota touchdown. Purdue down by 9. Blau in trouble, and down he goes.
Yeah, simple blitz here. They took a linebacker and blitzed him up and then folded the outside man underneath, and the pocket collapses. Cashman makes the play.
5th sack for Minnesota, 2nd today from Blake Cashman. Had a sack as well earlier. So it's a 3rd down and long. Inching our way towards 6 minutes to play. Here comes Cashman again, and bobbled and then caught by Marshall. Slips free of Buford and then is going to dive ahead towards the 17-yard line.
Well, see, now the play, you're going to need 2 scores anyway. So you should kick the field goal here and hope to play defense. And because if you go for it on 4th down and don't get it, 2 scores with 5-something to go, you're out of it. So kick the field goal. Correct coaching decision by Coach Parker.
Purdue has all 3 timeouts remaining. This is J.D. Dellinger, 5 of 9 on the year. This will be from 34.
But it's a big kick. Get it down to a 1-score game.
And he got it through that right upright. There from freshman J.D. Dellinger. 6 of 10 on the year, a 34-yard field goal, and it's a 1-possession game. As the Golden Gophers get the ball back, as the interim head coach Jared Parker. His 3rd game in that new role, seeking his first win. Antonio Chenault right now back deep for Minnesota, but Purdue will kick it away with 3 timeouts.
Well, it goes to the game's in the hands of the Boilermaker defense.
A short kick. And Chenault will pick it up at the 20 and slips, and he's down at around the 25. Well, Minnesota on the ground today without Shannon Brooks. Rodney Smith, another great effort. 129 yards. Mitch Leidner quiet again in the air, but 2 touchdown runs today.
And Rodney Smith was really kind of feast or famine. He had the big run, and 129 yards is just a normal day at the office for him.
Smith now with 4 straight 100-yard rushing games, 6 overall this season. You know, Leidner has thrown for 228. And Smith, after having that ankle taped up, he's in the game. Leidner slips free once, and he's going to find Smith across the 25-yard line. Now, Minnesota picked up 3, but for a moment that looked like it was going to go backwards.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised that they opened up this series, you know, throwing the football. Their strength is the running game. And
let's go back to Rodney Smith, and this goes back the previous Minnesota possession, and we had the shot of Smith having that right ankle taped. Back in there in this series, and he makes the catch on 1st down. It's a 2nd down and 7. The clock running. And now they do run it with Smith. After a gain of 2, it'll be a 3rd down and 5.
And now we've got the, as they always say, a big 3rd down. 4:07 left. 3rd down. You want to win this game, Purdue, you make a play right here.
Gophers are 3 of 13. You see the numbers there on 3rd down today. Wozniak in motion, pressure coming. Leidner time to the right side and incomplete. Looking for Eric Carter. Minnesota fans want a flag. They're not going to get it. DeJuan Hunt on the coverage, and sure enough, Purdue's D does step up And will force a Minnesota punt.
Well, they want a flag, but that's a dangerous throw right there. You know, you've got the cornerback all over the wide out right there, and he turns his head around, and I can see why they're booing, though.
The right hand high, the left arm kind of draped around the lower back of Carter, but no flag. We play on.
But the defense did their job. Now that it's, 3:46 left, and
Santoso. Here is Malik Kimbrough, another fair catch. So with 3:38 to play, 3 timeouts, Purdue will have it down by 6.
Well, if I'm Jared Parker and I'm coming on the road in the Big Ten, my team is really struggling, can't seem to do anything right, and I'm playing Minnesota, who's in the race of the West Division. I'm a big underdog. I couldn't ask for anything more than only being down by 6 with 3:38 to go, and I got timeouts left, and it's the fourth quarter. If I want to win this game, it's up to the offense, and I've got the skill enough on offense to move the ball and put ourselves in a scoring situation. Let's see what happens.
Purdue has lost 13 consecutive November games. You have to go back to November of 2012 when they beat Indiana. Trailing by 6. Here's Blau throwing, and Marshall can't make the catch, incomplete. Ray Buford, you've called his name a few times today.
Yeah, they're sure glad to get Buford back and Harden back, and little different wrinkle there. They put Blau on the move, make that throw to the wide side of the field a little shorter. You got to think in this situation that they're going to rely on the arm of David Blau.
It's Yancey and Myrick at the top of your screen. There's Blau over the middle, and it's Posey in traffic. It's been a popular area all day for Blau and the Purdue offense, attacking Minnesota over the middle. A gain of 7 there, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, a whole different concept. And I like with Minnesota's defense, they rolled the corner to Yancey, but they're playing 3 deep behind it. Just rolling the coverage, forcing him to throw to the wide side of the field, but not letting him throw to Yancey. In essence, that's double coverage against him. Two down,
3rd and 3.
2 down territory.
Here comes the pressure. Blau is going to run, lowers the shoulder, and he's going to be near the first down to get to the 35. Scott Ekpe with the stop, and that spot has him just short of the line to gain. But they will measure.
Certain plays happen in the game that you kind of forget about early, and they come back to haunt you. Let's not forget, early in the game, they went it on 4th and 1 and didn't get it in their territory. I mean, that's like a turnover, and in a 1-possession game, comes back to haunt you.
Knee down, shy of the 35. Ball tucked up against his body.
Well, they're going to go for it. Last time they went with the quarterback sneak and got stuffed.
So 4th and truly inches. And despite 3 timeouts and 2:40 to play, Purdue's going to go for it.
You know, I always thought in this situation, when you got an inch or 2 to go, if you can't make it on quarterback sneak, you probably shouldn't deserve to win the game. We're not talking about a yard, we're talking about a couple inches.
And Minnesota's going to call a timeout. First timeout charge to Minnesota. We'll step aside. Big 4th down when we come back. And there's Markel Jones, 13 carries, 50 yards here today. 4th and inches. And Purdue with the ball, and Markel Jones is not going to be in the mix here on his vital 4th down. Coach, what do you think here? 4th and inches?
Well, I already told you, hey, I'm a quarterback sneak guy, but they're not going to run quarterback sneak from the shotgun. I don't understand putting a guy back 5 yards anyway.
This is going to be Wagner. The ball comes free, and it's picked up by Minnesota. Antoine Winfield ended up with it, but they tried to run it with Wagner. And he was met from the get-go. The ball came free, and Winfield picked it up. 4th and inches. And it's Minnesota ball.
Well, they forgot to block Nick Rollis on 4th and an inch. And I know I come from a whole different school of thought, but I'm not sure I like the shotgun on 4th and an inch. Game on the line.
No, I think it's a valid point because you essentially take 4th and inches to 4th and 5 by the time Blau has the ball. There's Rodney Smith to the outside, and he's going to go out of bounds. There's a flag thrown back at the 30, and this will be a penalty on Minnesota.
Holding. Offense, number 62. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
It's Jared Weiler, redshirt sophomore.
Now, Corey, you know,
correction. That penalty's accepted. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 1st down.
well, you can see him right there. You know, sometimes a guy rolls on his back, you get caught. But, you know, there's a million ways to skin a cat.
Timeout of the half. Purdue. It's a 30-second timeout.
Let's take a look at our Duluth Trading hardest working player. Good pick, Rodney Smith again. 22 carries, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, and without Shannon Brooks out with an injury, and we learned about an hour or so before kickoff. Gophers have needed the redshirt sophomore again, and he has stepped up.
Corey, my point, million ways to skin a cat. With that play on 4th down, was that good defense or bad offense? You ask me, that's bad offense. Now, the first half when they went to 4th down and they got stopped, that was good defense.
There's Smith up the middle, and Clark. Smith's back as he crosses the 30-yard line.
2nd charge. Timeout of the half.
Purdue will call its 2nd timeout. 2:23 to play. Mitch Leidner. And the Gophers with the ball. 2nd and 12. From the Purdue 28-yard line. Boilermakers have 1 timeout remaining. Minnesota with 2. And Leidner's going to keep it. Cuts back inside. Keeps his feet. Across the 20-yard line. He'll be just shy of the 1st down by about a yard and a half after picking up 11.
3rd and final charge.
Purdue calls its last timeout.
Purdue.
So we'll step aside again. 2:13 to play. Gophers by 6. Washington plays later on tonight on the West Coast.
Now, remember where you heard it here, though. Washington, watch out for Washington State. Watch out for Mike Leach in the Apple Bowl.
On 3rd down and 1. It's going to be Leidner. As he lowers the helmet, he's going to have a 1st down across the 15-yard line. Now the fake to Smith, that was a great fake because Purdue bought it. They were running after Rodney Smith, but on the read, Leidner kept it, picks up a huge 1st down. And a great chat with offensive coordinator Jay Johnson, and he put some of the blame on his own shoulders about the lack of downfield passing.
Yeah, they started right off with downfield passing. They didn't do a lot of it, let's face it.
Purdue with no more timeouts. And here is Smith. Smith seals it. Touchdown, Minnesota. His 3rd score today. Rodney Smith, a career-high 153 yards. Also career-high 3 touchdowns today. Emmitt Carpenter, point after. Timeout here in the Twin Cities. Minnesota outscoring Purdue 21-3. Now how about this? Minnesota with 21 points this half. All 21 off 3 Purdue turnovers.
Yeah, it's the same old story for Purdue. And until they correct that, they'll have trouble beating anybody.
This will be returned. Ryan Langford Johnson. And then we dropped across the 20-yard line.
And here's what's frustrating for Purdue. You can't question their effort. And fundamentally, they look good, and they've got enough talent to be a lot better football team. But it's been the same old story ever since I watched them evaluating the film against Maryland when they got half 100 put on. You look at it and you say, they just self-destruct. They beat themselves.
.124 to play. On first down, Blau. Too high for Wagner. 1:19 left.
They look discombobulated right now. Is that a word?
Sure.
It is. Can you spell it? D-I-S. Combobulated.
Blau throws, and that's going to be caught near first down by Cameron Posey. Purdue next week will host Northwestern. Minnesota on the road at Nebraska. To the sideline, that's Yancey with a catch. 61 seconds left. SEC game 3 of our tripleheader still to come tonight. Kevin, Matt, and Lisa standing by for Penn State and Iowa. And Blau throwing deep and too far for Yancey. Here's Blau. Took a hit. Let's go back to the early third quarter. At the time, Purdue was leading with the ball, 28-23, and this interception, I thought, maybe changed the momentum of this game. Purdue was feeling good, led by 5, but then Duke McGee made that pick, and that kind of began the downward spiral in the second.
Well, sure, turnover for points for Minnesota, and then psychologically, you got to think that every guy in that Purdue sideline says, you got to be kidding me, here we go again. Different week, same story.
That turnover turned into a 7-yard touchdown run for Rodney Smith that gave the Gophers a lead that they never gave back. Phillips took a hard hit here.
Yeah. Good tackle with the shoulder.
Oh, now a flag comes in very late.
Late. That's an understatement.
As the officials meet near midfield.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 56, plays under further review.
That's Nick Rawless, redshirt senior.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 56 is disqualified. Penalized 15 yards from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
To have that kid out for the first half of the next play, for the next game, the rule shouldn't be that way.
Oh, and a near great pick there from Ray Buford.
Yeah, you know, the only thing Mike said that I could see, and I said it right away.
Illegal motion. Offense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
I said right away is that, you know, you could see that Rawless ducked his head. Now, I'm surprised it was called. I was surprised how late it was, but obviously that's what the officials saw. That's what the replay saw, and that's why they made the ruling they did.
Mike, thanks again for your input. Terrific addition to our coverage here all season long. Mike Pereira has been spot on. And 34 seconds to play, and Blau is sacked by Scott Ekpe. Beg your pardon, that's Galen Elmore. 87 on 97. So Nick Rawls ejected for targeting, and that'll keep him out of the first half for a big game next week, Minnesota at Nebraska.
And let's not forget, Cody Polk came out earlier in the game with his shoulder hanging, and he was the starter before he got injured. Then Rawls went in there, and Polk was the backup. So now they're down to Thomas Barber, a true freshman.
6th sack of the day, and the final play of the game is a catch for Mahungu, and that'll do it from the Twin Cities. Minnesota trailed by 5 at halftime, but in the end, the Gophers beyond a big second half pulled off Purdue 44-31. Jared Parker now 0-3 as the interim head coach. Tracy Clay is in the Golden Gophers now 4-2 in league play with 3 left in the regular season.